Most High, for taking the things of the world off of my shoulders.
Put some hot sauce on that thing real quick.
Yeah, thank you, Father. Lord, you made my desires pure. Yeah. You made my desires pure. Yeah. You made my desires pure. Yeah. You made my desires pure. I want wisdom, understanding. I don't want no Grammy. I wanna live a righteous life with a righteous family. I want a wife that love you more than she love me. Wanna show my people that they royalty. Wanna live by your commands, on your word we stand. I'd rather be touching scriptures than touching these banks. Them riches gon' profit nothing in a day of wrath. I was living in my mess, I had to take a bath. Creating me a clean heart, Abba made me pure. The things of the world, y'all, it's time to ignore. I want love, I want peace, I want everlasting life. Well done, my good and faithful servant, walking in that light. I'm on this narrow path, trying to save a soul. I want my people in Jerusalem, the days of hope. I wanna get to the homeless, show them that he care. I wanna get a homeless, hope we almost out of here. Gave your example through your son, and it's the only way. Ain't no pagans over here, we keepin' holy days. I want my people, stop the killing, we dropping the prophets. I want us come back to the laws, it ain't no other option. Don't want no hate up in my heart, not over no doctrine. I want the fruits of the spirit, y'all could keep the nonsense. I had to renew my mind, I had to free my conscience. I had to confess my sins, I had to be honest. I want the Ruach HaKodesh to come into me. I only trust the Father, not the enemy. The Father word, he came and cleansed the enemy. I only want the Spirit, so I'm killing me. The Father gave me righteous things that I desire. I wanna see the kingdom, not the lake of fire. I don't want no drugs, scriptures got me higher. If we come in up here, how we gon' meet the higher? Desires pure. You made my 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 desires pure. Haven't seen, ears haven't heard all that you had for me. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard all that you had for me. You made my desires pure. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard all that you had for me. You made my desires pure. Haven't seen, ears haven't heard all that you had for me. You made my desires pure. See all that weight that was on our shoulders. You made my desires pure. Was the things of this world. You made my desires pure. I want to say thank you, Father. You made my desires pure. Getting that weight off our shoulders. Hallelujah.
I want to say shalom and blessings to all my brothers and sisters. Hope everybody's doing well today. This afternoon, it's afternoon where I am. So I know it's morning in certain parts and in other parts as well into the afternoon. So I want to say shalom and blessings to everybody. Hope everybody's having a blessed day and so far a blessed week. I want to welcome you to this segment of the reading of the book of Enoch. I'm actually playing catch up. I was supposed to go live last night, but my little one ended up waking up and taking over. So you know how that go. We entertain her and I just rescheduled it for the afternoon. So we'll be doing this in the afternoon, and then this evening we'll be coming back and going live once again. So I look forward to seeing brothers and sisters for that live. We're going to be dealing with depression, the spirit of depression that's plaguing our brothers in this society and our people in general. You know, that's a deep spirit that's on our people. Um, not many outlets to really address it in the right way, and not to say that this is an outlet to really address it, but we are uh, a platform that's designed to help us address these things. You know, it's up to us as individuals to acknowledge whether we deal with these issues or not, and whenever possible, whenever these issues are brought up as a means to come about a solution or healing or repentance, it's up to us to take advantage of that. And so that's one of the things we do on our platform. We talk about issues. We deal with the truth according to the scripture in terms of who we are, you know, who salvation is for, who it's meant for, who judgment is meant for. And in terms of our conditions as a people, you know, we deal with those things too to the best of our ability. So we're going to be dealing with that. Like I said, I'm playing catch up today with the book of Enoch. And so I want to kind of get into it. Let me see something here. Okay. Yeah, before I move on, you can see the banner across the bottom. Those are our emails. Anybody who want to reach out in terms of music, you have music you want to donate or dedicate to the platform. You have any prayers, revelation from the Most High as it pertains to the word, or if you just want to reach out and give some encouragement, you know, you do that via email, or whenever we drop the link in the chat, you can feel free to do those things. Then we also have the other platforms, Kingdom Conversations, Brother Cleo Wednesday night. That'll be tomorrow night. Wake Up Jacob, Friday, 7:30 Central. That's the set time for it, but you know, we have segments throughout the week as well. Don't forget about the other brother's platforms, Brother Kadar, his platform, and also the website, trueebry.com. I want to thank everybody for going on to the website. Those who have went on to the website, thanks for all the feedback as well. And as a matter of fact, I have a couple of giveaways today. Let me get into the chat. Not many people in the chat today. Got Brother Davion Murphy. Shalom to you. Hope all is well this afternoon. Good to see you in the chat. Got my love, Shebria, in the chat, as always. Good to see you in the chat. Got Malek Immaculate. Shalom and blessings. Good to see you in the chat, as always. Got the Brother Hal Goodwin. Shalom and blessings to the Brother Hal, one of the producers and brothers here on the Salt of the Earth. Good to see you in the chat, bro, as always. Got Lawrence Sanders, Brother Lawrence Sanders. Shalom and blessings to you. Good to see you in the chat as well. Hope everybody's doing well today. So now, in terms of the giveaway, I still have a question out there that wasn't answered. All right. And this is one of the questions right here. I see you in the chat, Joy 31608. Shalom and blessings. Good to see you in the chat. All right. What was the fruit that Eve and Adam ate? All right. I'm looking for something in particular based on the source that was read. What was the fruit that Eve and Adam ate? All right. And also, hold on one second. There's a question. If you chimed in the first reading of the book of Enoch that we did, I told you if you could remember the question or remember the passage, all right, and it had to do with Noah and his other name. All right, Noah was given another name as well. All right, what was that name and what was the source? All right, I'm gonna just type it up real quick. All right. What was Noah's other name and what was the source? Brother Dave, you say Mandarin. Nah, that's not it, bro. That would have been good, though. I like mandarins. But this fruit is based on a particular source that was brought out. All right, and what was that fruit? All right. And also, what was Noah's other name? These are the two questions today for the giveaways. And as always, you know how we do. If you want to partake in the giveaway, go ahead and chime in. The link is in the chat. What was Noah's other name? And what was the fruit that Eve and Adam ate? Shalom to you, brother Josiah ben Judah, divine seed. Shalom to you. See, I can't remember where it's at, but I read somewhere that they ate from the actual tree. It looked like grapes, smell like coriander. Kind of close. Kind of close. All right. But there's the link. This is kind of close right here because there is a source that that says this. All right. It says that directly. But then there's another source that says exactly what the fruit was. It was based on a vision that was given to somebody. If you know anything about the history of the forefathers, the Most High always gave them visions of the past and the future. So most of the forefathers were always able, by the power of the Most High, to see what happened in the beginning and in the end, like Moses, Abraham, Enoch, so forth and so on. A lot of the prophets as well. Moshe. I'm not sure that may be the answer, the attempt to answer the question about the other name of Noah. But I brought it out in the first reading of the book of Enoch. All right. But those are the two questions that's up for grabs. What was the fruit? And what was Noah's other name? Okay. So now, as always, before we get into our reading, I want to run some things by the family. These are some things that I want to share with you based on, Most High willing, another reading that I want to bring up in the future, dealing with a dark history, the dark history of slavery and things that actually took place with our forefathers and foremothers while they were slaves or made to be slaves in this nation. All right, so let me pull this up. And while I'm doing that, if anybody want to chime in and attempt to answer those questions, feel free. All right, the link is out there. I want to start with this video right here. All right, this is entitled The Delectable Negro, The Fascination with Consuming Blackness. And this is based on another work that I want to bring up here in the near future. But check this out.
During slavery, when they had a big rebellion with Nat Turner, he was cannibalized after they killed him. They ate him. During a lot of lynchings, they would cook and barbecue people, and they would actually eat the people that they would lynch. So this was something that was a part of the white supremacist culture, consuming us literally.
Because they know you are what you eat. So if a white man eats you or eat me, he believes that he becomes us. And I know it's strange because I conquered them, but I'm going to devour what I've conquered.
So in this video, you kind of get a glimpse of things that were taking place with our people during the slave trade that is hidden in history. Hold on one second. All right, so you kind of get a glimpse of, like I said, what was taking place. So I'm gonna share another video. Because a lot of times when you have to get different sources when you're dealing with certain issues, and a lot of times when information comes by way of one of our own, it's not really considered valid or plausible in a lot of ways. So here's another video, quick video, kind of going over the same thing. Check this out.
I'm a white woman who grew up in an evangelical culty religion. As I educate myself, though, I really get stuck on this one point. White Christians would go to church on a Sunday wearing a cross around their neck to worship a martyr God who was crucified by being nailed to a cross, to be publicly tortured to death for political reasons. And then those same Christians would leave church with a picnic to go to a public lynching. And then they would gather by the hundreds or thousands to do to a Black person the same or worse than was done to their martyr God. And then they would pass out the body parts as souvenirs, and they would take photographs to go on postcards. And they would bring their kids and call themselves, without irony, Christians.
But that's the essence of true Christianity, the Christianity that our enemies gave us. And I say it that way because there are many sources that talk about Christianity prior to European Christianization, which in a lot of ways was still pagan. You know, like for instance, you look at Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity. There's a lot of paganism in it, but they still maintain a lot of old traditions in terms of records and customs and things like that. And so when we were brought over here, we were baptized into a form of Christianity that was basically tyranny. All right. But here's another source dealing with the same issue. All right. But this is more so dealing with how the Europeans over time ate the mummies and the different things like that. How a lot of people talk about mummies and artifacts and records. A lot of Europeans were said to eat and devour these mummies as a means of healing. This was what they did for healing, all right, or what they thought was healing, all right. And a lot of people talk about Egypt, and they use Egypt and the mummies in Egypt as a means to discredit the things in the Bible concerning our forefathers and their existence. But the Bible goes into all of that. The Bible tells us what happened to the graves of our forefathers, and even in the Apocrypha, it gives us that insight. So we're well armed and equipped to deal with that. But I want to share this video.
Do I have news for you? Are you ready? The gruesome history of eating corpses as medicine. This, my friend, is European history. But there's more. Oh, look, Europe's hypocritical history of cannibalism. And there is more. We ran out of mummies because Europeans ate them. And there is more. The Europeans that ate Egyptian mummies. And there is more. From the Daily Mail, Europeans indulged in cannibalism until the 1900s. By eating corpses, rich Europeans once thought they could heal themselves. White cannibalism in the slave trade. And there is a lot more. Just look it up.
Now, she ended with talking about white cannibalism in the slave trade. All right. So now the mummies and all of the different things that they found in the past, they're said to have devoured those mummies as a means of medicine. All right. And cannibalism, but there are a lot of things behind the scenes we don't know about in terms of that. But she ended with white cannibalism in the slave trade. And that's where I want to kind of pick up, because in the reading that I want to bring out, it talks about the brutality and the things that our people went through during the slave trade that we're not privy to and not made aware of. All right. A lot of times we get to see the whippings, and very sparingly they show us the rapes of our people. But what they don't tell us is that these things were happening to both men, women, and children. All of these things. Anything that you can imagine evil to do to a person in an inhumane fashion, they did these things to our people. And it was one of the ways they used to make our people docile, all right, and subservient. So, like I said, most high willing, I want to get into that in the near future. But I just wanted to share that with you, brothers and sisters. Once again, here's our email. I'm going to take a break real quick. We're going to come back and get into the reading, the book of Enoch, pick it up where we left off, dealing with Sheol and the underworld. So we're going to check that out. Hit us up via email. Go check out the website as well, trueebry.com. I want to thank everybody once again who have went on the website. I want to thank the brother Hal Goodwin for sponsoring the giveaways, and also the sister Linya Yisrael for being a sponsor to the giveaways. All right. I want to thank the Most High for allowing this to happen. And I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for your time. Once again, let's take a break. We'll come back. We're going to get into our reading. Shalom and blessings. Be right back. Shalom, shalom. Back at it. Once again, the link is still out there for my questions. What was Noah's other name, according to the source that we brought out? And what was the fruit that Eve and Adam ate? All right, for the giveaways. All right. We dealt with, what is this, the fourth part of our reading, part 4. So the first 3 parts of Enoch, we broke down into an understanding of the beginning of prophecy. Hold on one sec. All right. So in the first part, we dealt with the prophecy, Enoch bringing out the beginning, in the beginning, the prophecy or the judgments of the end times. All right. And in the second part, we dealt with the days of Noah, how the angels fell and slept with the women and created a corrupt race in the earth that destroyed the earth. And so the Most High brought the flood as a result of that. All right. We also dealt with some things concerning the map and the locations of the earth, and how a lot of things that we learned concerning the map are out of, out of whack, basically. Our understanding of the map and the locations of things haven't been taught to us right. So we dealt with some of that. And we also dealt with the judgment that Enoch brought on the angels as a result of their corruption. And we saw how the angels corrupted the earth, specifically what they taught men and what they taught women, and how these things corrupted the earth. Hold on one second. I got my love chiming in for the giveaway. I think she want to answer one of the questions. You know this ain't fair, right?
Well, I would like to do the giveaway. I would like to answer the question and see if Sister Joy would like to claim the prize. If so, she could just email you her information.
Okay. Sister Joy 31608. This is a giveaway dedicated for you. Okay, so you wanted to deal with the Adam and Eve question?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe the fruit was a fig from a fig tree.
Okay.
And I believe that's in the book of Adam and Eve.
Exactly. Okay. That's the answer that I was looking for in particular. They ate from a fig tree. All right. So the evidence of that in the in Genesis, let me see. Give me 1 second. Placement of ground. Hold on 1 second. Wow. I'm looking in Genesis. Well, anyway, that's the answer I was looking for, but there's another part in Genesis where it talks about how they sewed fig leaves together. And that was part of the clue when I was talking about the evidence is in the Bible. All right. Yeah, it's in Genesis 3 and verse 7. All right. Let me pull that up real quick. But thanks for that, my love. And that giveaway is for Sister Joy. If you're interested, Sister Joy, just email me and put my email back up. email me at ebrystore@gmail.com and go on the website, trueebry.com. And well, the giveaways are specific items as well. So, but for this, go on the website and pick out a garment. Let us know what size you want and a location to send it, and it'll be on the way. But thank you for that, my love.
No problem. Shalom, y'all.
Anything you want to say to the family?
No, just stay encouraged. Be blessed. That's pretty much it.
Amen. Thank you, babe. Genesis 3 in verse 7. All right, this is after they ate the tree, ate from the tree. It says, and the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. All right. Now, if you read the account of Adam and Eve, it'll tell you that once she ate from the tree, that the tree that she ate from withered and all of the leaves from the tree fell to the ground. So once he ate, it says both of their eyes were open and they sewed fig leaves together. All right. So that's the answer to that. It was a fig. All right. So now I'm going to delete this question. And the question that's still up for grabs, what was Noah's other name, according to the source that we brought out? Shalom, what's going on, brother Kadar? See you in the chat. I'm going to get with you later, bro, so we can chop it up. But, all right, that's the question that's still up in the air. What was Noah's other name? All right. So now, what I want to do now is we can go ahead and get into our reading for today, picking it up with the book of Enoch. But before we do that, this is where we left off right here in Enoch. All right. Subtitle, chapter 22, Sheol, or the underworld. So we're going to be talking about that. This chapter is going to give some description, but before we do, I want to come back and revisit a passage. This is in the works of Josephus concerning Hades, which is also known as Sheol, and it's called an extract out of Josephus's discourse to the Greeks concerning Hades. Brother Bunyard brought this out the other day, dealing with the judgment and what happens to the souls during the judgment. And I want to revisit this because this is going to help us understand what we're going to be dealing with when we read. So I'm going to just read straight through and I won't elaborate. Shalom to the Torah group. All right. I'm going to read this straight through and I won't elaborate, just so we can kind of get through it. All right. If y'all want a deep understanding of the word and the Hebrew, things like that, go check out the Torah group. Those brothers got some good information over there on a deep level and how we've been deceived with terms and words and different things, putting a lot of things in perspective. The Torah group. All right, let's get into this. It says, now as to Hades, wherein the souls of the good things they see, and rejoice in the righteous and unrighteous are detained, it is necessary to speak of. Hades is a place in the world not regularly finished, a subterraneous region wherein the light of this world does not shine, from which circumference that in this region the light does not shine, it cannot be, but there must be in it perpetual darkness. This region is allotted as a place of custody for souls. Ill with angels are appointed as guardians to them, who distribute to them temporary punishments agreeable to everyone's behavior and manners. In this region, there is a certain place set apart as a lake of unquenchable fire, whereinto we suppose no one hath hitherto been cast, but it is prepared for a day aforedetermined by Elohim, in which one righteous sentence shall deservedly be passed upon all men, when the unjust and those that have been disobedient to Elohim have given honor to such idols as have been the vain operations of the hands of men, as to Elohim himself, shall be adjudged to this everlasting punishment, as having been the causes of defilement, while the just shall obtain an incorruptible and never fading kingdom. There are now indeed confined in Hades. These are now indeed confined in Hades, but not in the same place wherein the unjust are confined. All right, so real quickly, Hades or Sheol is divided into sections. You have a place for the just and a place for the unjust. All right. It says, for there is one descent into this region, at whose gate we believe there stands an archangel with an host, which gate, when those pass through that are conducted down by the angels appointed over souls, they do not go the same way, but the just are guided to the right hand and are led with hymns sung by the angels appointed over that place, unto a region of light in which the just have dwelt from the beginning of the world, not constrained by necessity, but ever enjoying the prospect of the good things they see, and rejoice in the expectation of those new enjoyments, which will be peculiar to every one of them, and esteeming those things beyond what we have here, with whom there is no place of toil, no burning heat, no piercing cold, nor are any briars there, but the countenance of the and of the just, which they see always smiles them, while they await for that rest and eternal new life in heaven, which is to succeed this region. This place we call the bosom of Abraham. All right, so what he just described is the place down in Hades or Sheol where all the just descend to, all the just souls. All right. It says, but as to the unjust, they are dragged by force to the left hand by the angels allotted for punishment, no longer going with a good will, but as prisoners driven by violence, and whom are sent the angels appointed over them to reproach them and threaten them with their terrible looks, and to thrust them still downwards. Now those angels that are set over these souls drag them into the neighborhood of hell itself, who, when they are hard by it, continually hear the noise of it, and do not stand clear of the hot vapor itself. But when they have a near view of this spectacle, as of a terrible and exceeding great prospect of fire, they are struck with a fearful expectation of a future judgment, and in effect punished thereby. And not only so, but where they see the place or choir of the fathers and of the just, even hereby are they punished. For a chaos deep and large is fixed between them, insomuch that a just man that hath compassion upon them cannot be admitted, nor can one that is unjust, if he were bold enough to attempt it, pass over it. Kind of remind us of what we read about in Matthew's, where he talks about Abraham's bosom. Shalom to Fatima, Yehudim, Shah, Yasharel. Shalom and blessings to you, sis. He says, this is the discourse concerning Hades, wherein the souls of all men are confined until a proper season, which Elohim hath determined, when he will make a resurrection of all men from the dead, not procuring the transmigration of souls from one body to another, but raising again those very bodies, which you Greeks, seeing to be dissolved, do not believe their resurrection. So, well, y'all get that. But learn not to disbelieve it. For while you believe that the soul is created, and yet is made immortal by Elohim, according to the doctrine of Plato, and this in time be not incredulous, but believe that Elohim is able, when he hath raised to life that body which was made as a compound of the same elements, to make it immortal. For it must never be said that of Elohim that he is able to do some things and unable to do others. We have therefore believed that the body will be raised again, for although it is dissolved, it is not perished. For the earth receives its remains and preserves them, and while they are like seed and are mixed among the more fruitful soil, they flourish, and what is sown is indeed sown bare grain. But at the mighty sound of Elohim, the Creator, it will sprout up and be raised in a clothed and glorious condition, though not before it has been dissolved and mixed with the earth, so that we have not rashly believed resurrection of the body. For although it be dissolved for a time on account of the original transgression, it exists still, and is cast into the earth as into the potter's furnace, in order to be formed again, not in order to rise again such as it was before, but in a state of purity, and so as never to be destroyed any more. And to every body shall its own soul be restored. And when it hath clothed itself with that body, it will not be subject to misery, but being itself pure, it will continue with its pure body, and rejoice with it, with which it having walked righteously now in this world, and never having had it as a snare, it will receive it again with great gladness. But as for the unjust, they will receive their body not changed, not free from diseases or distempers, nor made glorious, but with the same diseases wherein they died, and such as they were in their unbelief. The same shall they be when they shall be faithfully judged. All right. So I think I'm gonna stop there. This is like I said, the discourse concerning Sheol, all right, or Hades, as this was called. We see that Hades or Sheol is divided into two sections. You have the just and the unjust. All right. The unjust are led to a place where they're pretty much tortured up until the time of the great judgment. And the just are led to a region of light and peace, where they await a greater judgment, a greater paradise. All right. And so we see that upon the resurrection, also the just will be raised up in a more glorious body, and the unjust who died in unbelief will be raised up in their same body that they died with. All right. If they died miserable, in pain, or in sickness, They're going to rise up with that same body, and they're going to be judged with that body. All right. And so now we're in the book of Enoch, chapter 22, Sheol, or the underworld. Now, this version that I have here is divided up into two different sections. There are different translations, and I also have a Hebrew translation, but I don't have that in a PDF form. I only have that in a hardback form. And so these two verses, like right here, E and G, they both virtually say the same thing. They're just translated different. All right. This version, I guess, is translated for this particular section. They translated the verses differently. Like, for instance, when we get here, it says, and there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places and deep and dark to look at. And this one says, and there were 4 hollow places in it, deep and very smooth. 3 of them were dark and 1 bright. And there was a fountain of water in the midst. And I said, how smooth are these hollow places, and deep and dark the view. All right. And so, like I said, this is one chapter that does that. I don't think the next chapter does that, but some other chapters may do that, but we'll just go ahead and read it all the way out just to get the exercise. So it says in verse 1, it says, and thence I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great and high mountain, and of hard rock. And there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, and deep and dark to look at. And there were 4 hollow places in it, deep and very smooth. 3 of them were dark and 1 bright. And there was a fountain of water in the midst. And I said, how smooth are these hollow places, and deep and dark the view. Then Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, these hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble therein. Yea, that all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them to the day of their judgment, until their appointed period, to the period appointed, till the great judgment comes upon them. And I saw the spirits of the children of men who were dead, and their voice went forth to heaven and made suit. Then I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and I said unto him, this spirit, whose is it, whose voice goeth forth and maketh suit? G. And I said, I saw the spirit of the dead man making suit, and his voice went forth to heaven and made suit. And I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and I said unto him, this spirit which maketh suit, whose is it, and whose voice goeth forth and maketh suit to heaven? Verse 7. And he answered me, saying, this is the spirit which went forth from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew, and he makes his suit against him till his seed is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from amongst the seed of men. All right, so this is in Enoch's time, and even in Enoch's day, he was hearing Abel's blood crying out, and that blood is still crying out to this day, asking for vengeance on Cain and on his seed. All right. So this was before the great flood. So, and this is also a testament of us. He said it would be as the days of Noah. And so he avenged Cain's blood. Now he's coming back to avenge his people. Yet his people are locked elbow to elbow with the enemy. All right. E. Then I asked regarding it and regarding all the hollow places, why as one separated from the other? Then I asked regarding the hollow places, why is one separated from the other? And he answered and said unto me, these three have been made that the spirits of the dead might be separated, and such as division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there as the bright spring of water. And it says, and he answered me saying, these three have been made that the spirits of the dead might be separated, and this division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there is the bright spring of water, and this has been made for sinners. All right. And such has been made for the sinners when they die and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain to the great day of judgment, and punishment and torment of those who curse forever, and retribution for their spirits. There he shall bind them forever. And such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction, when they were slain in the days of the sinners. All right. Such has been made for the spirits of men who were not righteous, but sinners, who were complete in transgression, and the transgression and of the transgressors. Pardon me. They shall be companions, but their spirits shall be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from thence. Then I blessed the Adonai of glory, and he said, then I blessed the Adonai of glory and said, blessed be my Adonai, the Adonai of righteousness, who ruleth forever. All right, so he's telling him that Sheol is divided into three portions. All right, you have a portion where the unjust souls go, and the souls the souls of the persecutors and the murderers. Then you have the place where the righteous souls go, and then you have the place where the souls go that were slain unjustly and cry out. And he's saying that the souls of the unjust and the souls of the sinners and those who shed blood will be tormented together. All right. So where was I at? I'll start here. And this has been made for sinners, and when they die and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed upon them in their lifetime. I'm reading both of these, brothers and sisters, because we may get, a little more clarity or some more details out of the records, out of a different translation. He says, here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain to the great day of judgment, scourgings and torments of the accursed forever, so that there may be retribution for their spirits. There he shall bind them forever. And this division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit. So you have the souls who, let me go back. The sinners, it said the souls of the sinners. It says when they die and are buried in the earth and judgment has not been executed upon them in their lifetime. All right, so you have a division for these people, talking about the people who did a lot of wickedness in the earth, evil in the earth, and never really suffered anything as a means of it. They may have suffered in their health or something like that. But in terms of judgment for what they've done being fully executed upon them. It hasn't happened, and now they die. So where do they go? It says they are set apart in this great pain. Right? So those people are being tormented in pain till the great day of judgment. So that's not even a judgment. They being tormented in pain until the day of judgment, scourgings and torments of the accursed forever, so that there may be retribution for their spirits. All right. There he shall bind them forever. And this division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit. So the spirits of those who crying out, all right, for what's been done to them, who make disclosures concerning their destruction when they were slain in the days of sinners. All right. This has been made for the spirits of men who shall not be righteous, but sinners, who are godless, and for the lawless. They shall be companions, but their spirits shall not be punished in the day of judgment. But their spirits shall not be punished in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from thence. Then I blessed the Adonai of glory and said, Blessed art thou, O Adonai of righteousness, who rulest over the world. The fire that deals with the luminaries of heaven. So now we're about to get deep into some of these things that the Most High allowed Enoch to see concerning the mysteries and how the earth and the heavens really operate and work. Shalom, Sister Linya Yisrael. I see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well, sis. It says, from thence I went to another place to the west of the ends of the earth. Notice also when we read through Enoch, this is not, he's not floating off into some, spirit place. The Most High is actually allowing him to see places in the earth and how things are functioning in the earth, how the constellations are rotating around the earth through the winds, the chambers of the winds, and all these things. So this is actually on the earth. It says, and I saw a burning fire which ran without resting and paused not from its course day or night, but ran regularly. And I asked, saying, what is this which rests not? Then Raguel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me and said unto me, this course of fire which thou hast seen is the fire in the west, which persecutes all the luminaries of heaven. All right. So he saw a fire from the west, and it said he persecutes all the luminaries of heaven. All right, let's read on. It says the 7 mountains in the northwest and the tree of life. So remember, the tree of life was in the garden, and this is prior to the flood as well. And so if you read the account of Adam and Eve, it talks about how the Garden of Eden and the earth, the Most High hid it by that flood, through means of that flood. So you also have a Garden of Eden in the third heaven, which is paradise. All right, so this is I think that's 24. I'm not good with Roman numerals, but it says, and from thence I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire, which burnt day and night. And I went beyond it and saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing each from the other. And the stones thereof were magnificent and beautiful, magnificent as a whole, of glorious appearance and fair exterior. 3 towards the east, one founded on the other, and 3 toward the south, one upon the other, and deep, rough ravines, no one of which joined with any other. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in height, resembling the seat of a throne, and fragrant trees encircled the throne. And amongst them was a tree such as I had never yet smelt. Neither was any amongst them, nor were others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrance, and its leaves and blooms and wood wither not forever. And its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, how beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms very delightful in appearance. Then answered Michael, one of the holy and honored angels who was with me, and was their leader. And he said unto me, Enoch, why dost thou ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree? And why dost thou wish to learn the truth? Once again, he's asked that. Remember, I believe that was Raguel told him that once. Why are you desirous to learn the truth? Why do you want to know the truth? Then I answered him saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered saying, this high mountain which thou hast seen, whose summit is like the throne of Elohim, is his throne, where the holy great one, the Adonai of glory, the eternal king, will sit, when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. All right. So this is talking about the mountain that he saw. He said, it is the throne of Elohim. All right. It is his throne, where the holy great one, the Adonai of glory, the eternal king, will sit. And when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. All right. So Michael, the angel, however you want to pronounce it, was foretelling Enoch, our forefather, about the Mashiach, Yehoshua, Mashiach, our eternal king. All right. The holy great one, the holy one of Israel, the eternal king. It says, and as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all and bring everything to its consummation forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and holy. Its fruit shall be for food to the elect. I'm going to read that again, because this is concerning the tree of life. We can even go deeper into Adam's history and show you how the Most High told Adam how he was going to come down and visit the earth and redeem Adam's seed. And we can show you who Adam's seed is. But it says, and as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all and bring everything to its consummation forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and the holy. Key words. These are not arbitrary terms, all right? Meaning anybody. These terms are referring to somebody in particular. And it's telling you right here, concerning a tree, its fruit shall be for food to the elect. There's your key word right there. Now go find out who the elect are. which we did that in the second part of this study through the book of Enoch. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Adonai, the eternal King. Then shall they rejoice with joy and be glad, and into the holy place shall they enter. And its fragrance shall be in their bones, and they shall live a long life on earth, such as thy fathers lived. And their days shall not, and in their days shall no sorrow or plague or torment or calamity touch them. Then bless I the Elohim of glory, the eternal King, who hath prepared such things for the righteous, and have created them and promised to give them. So the promise has been set since the beginning. All right. What we're reading is, when we read in the Bible, in the writings of Paul, he talks about the promises that were given aforetime and the things that were established from the beginning. All right, this is what we're reading in the book of Enoch concerning the elect. But I'm gonna take a break real quick, y'all. Give me something to drink. When we come back, we're gonna keep it going. Right now, we're gonna be dealing with Jerusalem and the mountains, the ravines and the streams. The Most High was showing Enoch everything before these things was even established. All right, so it's a blessing for us that we have access to this. We're going to take advantage of it. And I hope more than anything that it's edifying the family. So let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to keep it going. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Shalom once again to the brother Hal Goodwin and the sister Linya Yisrael for sponsoring these giveaways. Once again, y'all, I need an answer to this question. All right. What was Noah's other name? It's the question that's still up in the air. All right. And it'll be up until I get somebody to chime in. I want to deal with that. Let me post the link one more time. Shalom. I think that's I don't know if that's Brother Bunya, Brother Cleo. Shalom. Hope all is well. But the link is in the chat. What was Noah's other name, y'all? I brought it out in the first one. Y'all can even go cheat. Go back and look at the first one and figure out who it is. All right. But shalom, y'all. Be right back.
Walk around 6 o'clock. Jump off the bed and hit my knees. I had to give the Lord his praise. But let me wake up today. Jumped in the ride and hit the spot. Say what's up to all of G's. Today just might be the day. I came to my change the way. Continue rolling down the block. Get pulled over by the police. I tell you no, I'm not afraid. I know I'm protected by grace. I had to come to a stop with all the drama in the street. Make me feel like I'm not safe, but all I can do is pray. And keep your hope and keep your faith. You know we going back one day, but for now I'm gonna celebrate, cause he made me in his imagery. And now it's back to 6 o'clock, and I ain't even had no sleep. But today was a lovely day.
It's the love that you create. Don't just look like a sizzle cloud. 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 You saved my soul. You took control. And now I know that you made me whole. You made me whole. You made me whole.
I was lost, but now found. I was lost. You picked me up when I was down. You picked me up. See, I just know the difference now. See, I just know. Between the church and between the trap, it was hard to tell. So you took me out and you showed me how to live a life like Jesus Christ through sacrifice and tests and trials and lonely nights. It made me strong. He gave me sight. My past is gone.
Shout out to the sister SCR for those tracks. Shout out to everybody who sent us the music tracks. Keep sending them. We're going to keep putting them on blast. This is one thing that is a part of our fellowship. Brothers and sisters who have gifts and talents, and you want to use those gifts and talents for the Most High as a means to, bring your people together and give your people an alternative to what the world is giving us. We like music. We're a musical people. So for those of us who have that ability and want to share it with the family, this is one platform you can do that. Send those things to us via email. And like I said, we'll just put it in the rotation. Shout out to the brother Smitty. Shout out to my brother Ralph Wolf. Shout out to Sister Ayin, the Trust Cafe. Shout out to the brother T. Everybody who sends music and keeps us in the loop with everything you got going on. We appreciate that. So the question's still up in the air, y'all. What was Noah's other name? All right, according to a source that we read dealing with this study in Enoch, brought it out in the matter of fact, it was in the second one, in the second part dealing with the book of Enoch, just to give brothers and sisters a hint. I don't know if some of these questions be too tough or what, but as far as books and information, my range is kind of far. So I read a lot of sources, and I may be putting a little pressure on you brothers and sisters in that regard, because a lot of people don't really read a lot of sources, And that's neither here nor there. I'm just a brother I'm big on information. I like to read, especially after learning that this is our history. And I've been hooked ever since. Anything with an undertone of us being involved or this being our history, I'm going to check it out, because you might find something in it that validates or brings out a further understanding of what you're grounded in. So as an investigator, it's not wise as an investigator to to omit information. Even stuff that may seem a little off base, go ahead and check it out. See what you might find. Even just to say that's some, that ain't valid. At least you searched it out. And I want to thank all the brothers and sisters who help out in that regard too. Brother Yashadik, he's a major resource when it comes to stuff like that, information, and he's highly inclined and knowledgeable in a lot of things. And so anybody who need resources, information, reach out to us as well via email, and we'll do what we can for you. Shalom, Mikael, Yisrael, and Trodden Away. Shalom and blessings. See y'all in the chat. Let's get back to it, y'all. Let me put this down. What was Noah's other name? That's the question. Trying to give y'all some free merch. All right. So we're dealing with Jerusalem and the mountains. All right. And even when it comes to this book of Enoch, this is a book that, like I said, I've never read it all the way through. I've read, pieces of it, portions of it, especially when you get to the end of the book, starting from maybe like chapters 85 up to chapter 105. I think let me reference something real quick, because I have a PDF version and I also have the hardback version. And in my hardback version, I have two different books of Enoch. You had the you have the first book of Enoch, and then you have the secrets of Enoch. And in my first book of Enoch, I want to say it's 105 chapters. I want to say, no, more than that. 108 chapters. So it's different versions. And so I've been able to, get familiar with portions and certain parts of the book, especially dealing with prophecy. But we reading it through, it says, and I went from thence to the middle of the earth, and I saw a blessed place in which there were trees with branches abiding and blooming, of a dismembered tree. And there I saw a holy mountain, and underneath the mountain to the east there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain higher than this, and between them a deep and narrow ravine. In it also ran a stream underneath the mountain, and to the west thereof there was another mountain, lower than the former and of a smaller elevation, and a ravine deep and dry between them. And another deep and dry ravine was at the extremities of 3 mountains. And all the ravines were deep and narrow, being formed of hard rock, and trees were not planted upon them. And I marveled at the rocks, and I marveled at the ravine. Yea, I marveled very much. So he's seeing this vision, all right? And a lot of it is really even hard to envision in ourselves. He sees a blessed place in which there were trees with branches abiding and blooming, of a dismembered tree. And there I saw a holy mountain. So once again, he's seeing mountains. And remember, back in Enoch's days, he's seeing the earth as it was back then. So the trees, the mountains were a lot taller. The trees were a lot taller back then. And there's this video I came across on YouTube where this guy was looking on his you know how you look at Google Maps, and he was searching this location, and he was looking at a location from a satellite view from according to the website, and looking down on the location, he was able to see a large imprint of a giant leaf. All right. And the leaf extended like thousands of miles. So what he was proving in that video was that there were giant trees in the earth that were cut down, and these trees reached up to the sky. And in some cases, the leaves on these trees were taller than large skyscrapers. And so Enoch is seeing some of this stuff. All right. And so this is where we are, the purpose of the accursed valley. All right. He says, then said I, for what object is this blessed land, which is entirely filled with trees, and this accursed valley between? So he's saying, why do you have this blessed place filled with trees and this cursed valley going right in between it? It says, then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, this accursed valley is for those who are accursed forever. Here shall all the accursed be gathered together, who utter with their lips against the Lord unseemly words, and of his glory speak hard things. All right. So that kind of brings us in the thought process of what Mashiach was saying about every idle word shall be brought into judgment. So this accursed valley was for people who spoke blasphemies, unseemly words, right? With their lips, they spoke unseemly words, and of his glory, they spoke down on his glory. In other words, they blasphemed. It says, here shall they be gathered together, and here shall be their place of judgment. In the last days, there shall be upon them the spectacle of righteous judgment in the presence of the righteous forever. Here shall the merciful bless the Elohim of glory, the eternal King. All right, then it says, here shall they be gathered together, and here shall be the place of their habitation. In the last times, in the days of the true judgment, in the presence of the righteous forever. Here shall the godly bless the Adonai of glory, the eternal King. Or I think that may be a misprint. Or it may not be the eternal King, because he's talking about a specific people, right? But we'll just go ahead and say that's supposed to be eternal King. Either way, we know that the Most High is our kinsman. He sent his son in the flesh as our kinsman. It says, in the days of judgment over the former, they shall bless him for the mercy in accordance with which he has assigned them their lot. Then I blessed the Adonai of glory and set forth his glory and lauded him graciously. Further journey to the east, and thence I went toward the east in the midst of the mountain range of the desert. And I saw a wilderness, and it was solitary, full of trees and plants, and water gushed forth from above, rushing like a copious watercourse which flowed towards the northwest. It caused clouds and dew to ascend on every side. And thence I went to another place in the desert and approached to the east of this mountain range. And there I saw aromatic trees exhaling the fragrance of frankincense and myrrh. And the trees also were similar to almond trees. Man, I would love to be there. It says, and beyond these, I went far to the east, and I saw another place, a valley full of water, and therein there was a tree, the color of fragrant trees, such as the mastic. And on the sides of those valleys, I saw fragrant cinnamon. And beyond these, I proceeded to the east. So now we always talk about, give me 1 second. We always talk about, or we hear in science often how the trees help with oxygen and everything. What does that say? Okay. Let me share something real quick. I wanna look at this word right here. Because he's talking about a tree, of fragrant trees, such as the mastic. All right, so this is a fragrant tree. All right. Because a lot of people are not used to these types of things. You know, we're not used to being in a place where we can go outside and look at fruit trees and okay, here we go. Okay, this is a little different from the Google search on my phone, but a mastic tree. Now in my phone, I'm looking at it. It says mastic, also spelled. Y'all can't even see that. So I'm gonna have to share that. But let me see. What is a mastic tree? In my phone, it says mastic, also spelled MASTICH. Aromatic resin obtained as a soft exudation from incisions in mastic trees. It is used chiefly to make pale varnishes for protecting metals and paints. When dispersed, embodied, thickened by heating linseed oil, mastic is known as megalith and is used as a color vehicle. So it looked like it's not only fragrant, but it's used as it says as a means of protecting metals and painting. All right. So now we see why a lot of these types of trees and a lot of these types of things are in certain particular areas, you know, and a lot of these things are in Africa as well. And now we see why the nations are so hell bent on Africa. But this is the mastic tree. That's interesting. Then there's a lot of fragrant trees. We're gonna keep reading because he gonna talk more about that as well. Cinnamon was one of the spices that when our forefather Adam and our foremother Eve fell from the garden, they asked for certain spices to keep from the garden. The Most High wouldn't let them go back in, so the Most High sent the angel to get certain spices out of the garden to give to them, and one of those spices was cinnamon. All right. And on the sides of those valleys, I saw fragrant cinnamon. And beyond these, I proceeded to the east, and I saw other mountains, and amongst them were groves of trees. And there flowed forth from them nectar. All right. We all used to nectar. Some of us drink it, and it's good. It says, which is named Sarara and Galbanum. And beyond these mountains, I saw another mountain to the east of the ends of the earth, whereon were aloe trees, and all the trees were full of stach, being like almond trees. And when one burnt it, it smelt sweeter than any fragrant odor. All right. So all these things are the resources that I believe are still in the earth, that the Most High got hidden in the earth. That's what I believe. You got trees you can cut down and put into the water to make the water sweet. You walk into a certain area and it just smells different. And even, my wife, she was visiting some things in the accounts of Adam and Eve. And it says that there's a certain tree in a certain area of the garden where if you walk into that certain area in the garden and you smell that tree, that it'll basically cleanse your thoughts or purify your thoughts, and you'll forget your iniquities. And so when you look at how a lot of things are manipulated today, a lot of herbs and spices are used in different rituals as a means to try to accomplish some of these same things. Like people burn sage, Kool-Aid trees, man. Don't get me started on the Kool-Aid tree. Shouldn't even be talking about no Kool-Aid tree, but these are the resources that we have access to, and I believe a lot of these things, or all of these things, let me say, are still hidden in the earth. You look at people who burn sage and, burn certain herbs in their home as a means for obtaining peace and, mental health and all these different things. And they're just basically trying to mimic what's natural within our culture had we stayed in our culture and our heritage. It says, after these fragrant odors, as I looked towards the north over the mountains, I saw 7 mountains full of choice nard and fragrant trees and cinnamon and pepper. All right. It says, to the northeast, I beheld 7 mountains full of choice nard and mastic and cinnamon and pepper. And thence I went over the summits of all these mountains, far towards the east of the earth, and passed above the Erythraean Sea, and went far from it, and passed over the angel Zotiel. So as he was passing over these regions, the Most High was showing him all these things. He was also seeing the spirits who were in charge of all of the different offices and over these regions. All right. And it says, and I came to the garden of righteousness and saw beyond those trees many large trees, growing there, and of goodly fragrance, large, very beautiful and glorious, and the tree of wisdom whereof they eat and know great wisdom. And it says, and I came to the garden of righteousness, and from afar off trees more numerous than these trees and great. 2 trees here, 2 trees there, very great, beautiful, and glorious and magnificent. And the tree of knowledge, all right, whose holy fruit they eat and know great wisdom. All right, over here it calls it the tree of wisdom. So not to get confused with the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. All right, or let's see. Let's read on and see exactly what that is. It says, that tree is in height like the fir, and its leaves are like those of the carob tree, and its fruit is like the clusters of the vine, very beautiful. And the fragrance of the tree penetrates afar. And I said, how beautiful is the tree, and how attractive its look. Then Raphael, the holy angel, who was with me, answered and said, this is the tree of wisdom, of which thy father, old in years, and thy aged mother, who were before thee, have eaten, and they learnt wisdom, and their eyes were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they were driven out of the garden. All right. So now it calls it the tree of wisdom in this interpretation. And over here, it calls it the tree of knowledge. All right. So, which is why I say it's good to get interpretations, but we see that this is the very tree that he's speaking of our forefather Adam and Eve eating and getting driven out of the garden. But notice the characteristics of the tree. All right. It says he saw a large, let me get a good start point. I came to the garden of righteousness, and I saw beyond those trees many large trees growing there, and of goodly fragrance, large, very beautiful and glorious, and a tree of wisdom whereof they eat and know great wisdom. All right. The tree of knowledge, whose holy fruit they eat and know great wisdom. That the tree is in height like the fir tree. So this whole description of it is what our foremother Eve was deceived by. When it says she saw the tree, that it was good for food, pleasant to the eye, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. So it was an alluring tree. All right, even our forefather Enoch had to ask about it, and he described it, right? It says, now, once again, this is the Most High allowing him to see things from the beginning. All right, it says, and from thence I went to the ends of the earth and saw their great beasts, and each differed from the other. And I saw birds also differing in appearance, and beautiful in voice, and the one differing from the other. And to the east of those beasts, I saw the ends of the earth whereon the heavens rest, and the portals of the heaven open. And I saw how the stars of heaven come forth, and I counted the portals out of which they proceed, and wrote down all their outlets, and each individual star by itself, according to their number and their names, their courses and their positions and their times and their months. All right, as Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, showed me. All right, so basically, this is what you would call the constellations or the orders of the stars. It said that he saw the portals out of which they proceeded, and he wrote them down. So in other words, he's showing you the operation or the function of the stars and the portals that they come out of, pretty much letting you know that we're not on a globe or a sphere. All right. He's taking them into different parts of the earth and showing them how the clouds rise, how the clouds are even created. All right. In the ends of the earth, he showed them that, and how the clouds and everything function and move by the winds, the stars, the moon, and the sun, and how everything moves. He showed them these things, the constellations of the stars. This is why when you look up at the stars, they rotate in the same manner, and you see the same constellations at certain parts of the year and certain months. He showed them all of that. He showed all things to me and wrote them down for me. Also, their names he wrote for me, and their laws and their companies. So remember, we read up where it talks about the fallen angels. They taught men different things, certain secrets of heaven, right? But it said that those were worthless secrets, right? But the same Most High used the Holy Spirit, holy angels. Now he's revealing to Enoch the secrets of heaven as well. So it's not about not knowing things or things being hidden from us. It's just about us going about it the right way. We see the disposition that Enoch had. He was a righteous man. He followed the Most High all of his life. He separated himself from the world. He became a king and a ruler among men, and he was so righteous that the Most High wanted him to come up and judge the angels and give them their sentence. And then he appointed him to be one of the two witnesses according to Revelations. And so you'll hear people say that the Most High was trying to hide secrets. No, he wasn't trying to hide secrets. He was just trying to establish his spirit in the earth so that his secrets could be known. Once we come into the truth of the Most High and solidify ourselves in that, he will reveal certain things to us. And once he reveals those things to us, we will know those things in a proper light. It says, he showed all things to me and wrote them down for me. Also, their names he wrote for me, and their laws and their companies. All right. So it's not far-fetched why a lot of our brothers and sisters have certain understandings or certain inclinations in certain things. It's just the manner and how we go about it. You know, is the root of what we're trying to understand based on the knowledge of good and evil? Or are we trying to understand these things from a standpoint of life? What did the Most High create these things for? How can we be vessels of life and use these things as a means of life in the earth? Enoch's journey to the north, and from thence I went towards the north to the ends of the earth, and there I saw a great and glorious device at the ends of the whole earth, a device. And here I saw 3 portals of heaven open in the heavens. So he's seeing all these things, all these secret places in the earth that the Most High pretty much, it's like, how can I put it? It's like you see how something functions, right? You might go into the theme park and you see all these big lights and all these different things, but you don't really see how those things is functioning. You don't really see all the behind the scenes things and how these things is functioning. And this is what he showed Enoch. You know, how are these things functioning? Yeah, we see the stars, we see the sun and the moon, but how are these things functioning? So he's showing Enoch, our forefather, the progenitor of the Israelites, basically that I'm the Elohim of these things. Whereas people might worship these things, I'm the one who put these things in order, and this is how they work. This is the spirit behind the thunder, and we're gonna get into all that too. Every time you hear thunder and every time you see lightning, these are spirits that the Most High appointed to do these things. They're spirits that's appointed to make the wind blow, you know, to make the sun rise and all these different things. He appointed spirits over these things. So he's giving Enoch the intricate, you know, he letting them in and showing them, you know, this is how I do this. This is how this works. This is how that functions, you know, and he's writing it all down so that we can have a record that these things are not to be worshiped as Elohims, but the great Elohim that orchestrated these things is to be worshiped. All right, he says, and from thence I went towards the north to the ends of the earth, and I saw a great and glorious device at the ends of the whole earth. And here I saw 3 portals of heaven open in the heaven. Through each of them proceeded north winds. You always hear that on the news. We got a cold north wind coming in, right? Guess how that happened? The spirit appointed over that opened a portal. Now, guess what? Whatever the Most High decrees that spirit to do, it'll do it. So if he say, I want you to send a strong north wind to blow out that whole city, then guess what's going to happen? That's what's going to happen. Can evil come on the city and the Most High didn't bring it? Absolutely not. It says, when they blow, there is cold, hail, frost, snow, dew, and rain. So anybody want to go to war with the Most High, just know that this is one of the means that he has that he can overcome for surely. Because no matter what you have, if the Most High send a destructive pattern of weather, then it's over for you. It says that out of one portal they blew for good, but when they blew through the other 2 portals, it is with violence and affliction on the earth, and they blow with violence, right? And from thence I went towards the west to the ends of the earth, and saw there 3 portals of the heaven open, such as I had seen in the east, the same number of portals and the same number of outlets. All right, so this is where we're gonna cut it off. I'm gonna conclude right here. He's going into his journey in the south now. So remember, if you're dealing on a plane, right, under a firmament, you have north, south, then you have east, then you have west. And so he's basically taking him around the circle of the earth and showing him from every end of the earth how everything functions. The sun, the moon, and the stars, the winds, the waters, and how everything in the earth is being sustained from things that we can't see, invisible things, right? Invisible can mean something right in front of you and you can't see it. And invisible can also mean that you're totally oblivious. You don't see how things are functioning. And so a lot of these things we think so far off into the spirit and don't realize that the Most High has practical ways in the earth and how he's doing things. It's just that we don't see it, you know. And he has the spirit realm. He's operating in the invisible realm because he's the invisible Elohim. All right. So the book of Enoch is kind of cold-blooded, y'all. It's real deep and in depth. And when we get through with this book, we're going to go through Jasher, Jubilees, and then we're going to go into the book of Genesis. After we finish Enoch, we're going to go into Jasher. We might do Jubilees first, then Jasher, and then we're going to go into the law, Genesis to Deuteronomy. And I guarantee you, if you do this, once you get into Genesis to Deuteronomy, you're going to read that with a whole different understanding. All right. Not to say you're going to understand all things, but you're going to have a good understanding of what's missing, what's misinterpreted, you know, and I think that'll help out. But let's conclude right here. The journey to the south. All right. That's where we're going to stop. Take a break. And when we come back, we're going to close out. I want to thank everybody once again for your time. Once again, go check out the website, trueebri.com. I want to thank everybody who has went on the site. Don't forget about my giveaway question. All right. I'm still looking for that. What was Noah's other name? All right. Maybe in the next segment, or let me do this. Let me put the link in here one more time in case anybody want to chime in and tackle that. But I brought it out in part 2 of the segment dealing with Enoch, Noah's other name that was given to him. I'm not going to even say the source, but we did it in part 2. And I know a lot of brothers and sisters are familiar with sources. Y'all just act shy sometime and don't want to chime in, but it's cool. Hopefully everybody get warmed up enough soon, but that's the question. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to close out. Shalom and blessings once again. Be right back.
What up, B? What up, B? What up,
Shalom, shalom. What was Noah's other name? That's still my question out there. And that's for the giveaway. I wanted to address something in the chat. Sister Fatima said it's really amazing how the Most High opened up to so many of our forefathers. We really are his chosen. And to add to that, the Apostle Paul told us that all things that were written aforetime was written for our learning, that we, through patience and faith in the scriptures, might have hope. And so that is profound, you know, the fact that the Most High opened up so deeply to our forefathers. You know, Israel only has he known. And so to me, that's another great thing to claim, you know, as a people, to know that the Most High was that intimate with our forefathers, to show them things that, you know, the eyes can't really stand to see, you know. And even when you read about them experiencing these things and their reactions, you know, a lot of these things we probably couldn't handle, you know, the end time judgments that's to come. There you go. But the end time judgments to come, brother from the Torah group, go ahead and chime in. That's the standard. If you want to answer that question, go ahead and chime in. It'll be good to hear from you too. But yeah, the Most High was real intimate with our forefathers, showing them secrets, showing them things, and having these things recorded. And one of the sad things that I see is the dismissal in a lot of these types of things. You know, we take a lot of this stuff as far-fetched, but then think about this. When you think about the Most High showing our forefathers the past, right? Like he took our forefather Abraham and showed him the beginning, you know, dealing with Adam and Eve. And as the angel was taking them on these journeys, they asked them questions, you know, what is this? Who is this? And the angel would explain it to them, you know. And then he would take them and show them the end times, the judgments, right? We think those things are far-fetched, but then they put it back in your face in the form of entertainment, you know, and call it time travel. You know, the concept of time travel, and think about that and how they mimic that. That's basically an artificial form of what the Most High allowed our forefathers to do. They're trying to mimic that, you know. The Most High, you know, it tells you that in the beginning, he put the judgment, he established the judgment first. So when you look at Hollywood and their model that they mimic, you know, a lot of times you will see that when they put in a script together, what they say, we put the ending together first, right? And then we build off of the ending. You know, you fill in as you go, and that's how they edit. But then it's the same model. The Most High called the end from the beginning. But I want the brother, the Torah group, to chime in. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. He gave the answer right there. We wanna do some of these giveaways, but just to get that out there so I can get to some other questions. And Brother Hal and Brother Ling, y'all, if y'all still listening in, if y'all have any questions that you want to ask concerning the giveaways, you know, that'll be appreciated too. But to get the giveaway, we want the brothers and sisters to chime in and give the answer. But I'm gonna go ahead and shut down for this segment. This is part 4. And like I said, when we pick it up, we're going to be dealing with the journey to the south. All right. The journey to the south. And notice all of these places that he's traveling is on the earth. You know, it's not in some spirit realm or anything like that. And I believe the Most High did show him some of that. But the Most High is showing Enoch everything, all right, in the earth and in the heavens. What's going on, Brother Rio Morgan? See, I got my gear today in the mail. Man, they ain't gonna be able to mess with you, bro. But I'm glad, man. I'm glad for the feedback. Everybody who gets your merchandise, man, we glad for the feedback on that. Sister Lynn, okay. She says she's gonna come up with something. So we're gonna have Sister Lynn and Sister Hal. All right. They tough now, Brother Hal. He tough. Brother Hal, he got the knowledge now. And Sister Lynn, she's sharp too. So y'all think y'all's getting it from me. And these ain't gonna be no none of them Sunday school questions. Y'all don't give me no Sunday school questions like who built the ark? Who built the ark, and who did David kill, or who did nothing like that. People who chime into the side of the earth, we can test them a little bit, but we, you know, this is for the purpose of giveaways. We appreciate everybody who want the giveaways and everything. But that's it for right now, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down. But what we will do is come back later on this evening and deal with a discussion for the brothers dealing with depression. All right. This is I have it titled for the brothers, but we're going to be dealing with the issue overall and how it affects our people. You know, mostly our brothers, because the brothers are the heads. We are designated by the Most High to be the leaders of our people. So in order to do that, we have to be in the right frame of mind. And a lot of brothers are waking up and doing the best that they can now. All right. But we still have a lot of brothers struggling mentally, dealing with issues. Not to say that these things are tearing brothers down, you know, but it'll be nice to be able to to deal with these issues and talk about them, you know, to the best of our ability in a redemptive manner. So that's what we're going to do this evening, come back and deal with the issue of depression. I really would like some brothers, you know, if y'all would chime in to give some input on that. This will be a means to sort of bring out some things that need to be addressed in our brothers and how we can fix it, you know. So I look forward to seeing y'all this evening for that. Don't forget about the email. Everybody got that information. And also, don't forget about the other platforms we have as well. KC, Kingdom Conversations, Wednesday night, hosted by Brother Cleo. We also have Brother Kadar's YouTube channel. Go over and like and subscribe to that channel as well. You have my own personal YouTube channel, and then you have the Salt of the Earth channel as a whole. All right, these are all just outlets for brothers and sisters to have access to fellowship and to the truth. You know, the truth that the Most High put in our hearts to reveal. We won't go no further than what the Most High unctioned us to go. And that's what we plan to do. And like, sub, share, and subscribe to all the channels. All right. Go check out the website, trueebri.com. All right. I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, once again for your time. Shout out to my brothers, Salt of the Earth brothers, Brother Bunya, Brother Cleo, Brother Hal, Brother Kadar, Brother Yash. Hope your brother's doing well today. Shout out to all the other platforms out there doing work for the Most High, for the redemption of the Most High's people. I want to give a special shout out to the brother Apostle Curtis Lewis. If you're not doing anything Friday, I'm going to have the brother on to fellowship with us, just to give his testimony, some background, and just kind of get into some things pertaining to the awakening from his experience. This brother's been in the ministry many, many years. So we want to get his perspective on the awakening and hopefully an exhortation concerning the end time judgment and the hope for our people. So that'll be this Friday, 7:30. Got somebody chiming in. To my brother from the Torah group.
Shalom, out. Can you hear me?
What's going on?
Off the job, man.
Oh, you working right now?
Yeah, just clocked out.
Oh, okay. What's going on, man?
First and foremost, I just wanted to greet the chat and the brothers of Salt of the Earth, and thank you all for your support for the Torah group. Because you know the righteous groups are far and in between, and all the unrighteous assemblies get all the notoriety. So I just want to thank you, brothers, for being on the front line, doing some righteous work for the nation.
And thank y'all, man. Did you want to get with that giveaway?
Absolutely. I want some of that ebri.com gear. Absolutely.
Hey, do this. You got my email, right?
I do.
Okay, so and I think I have yours too, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since we exchanged, but just what I want you to do is send me an email with what size you wear and everything, and a place to send it.
Okay, we'll do.
Yep. But yeah, man, get real quick while you on, just kind of brief everybody on what you brothers doing over there on the Torah group.
We are located in Greensboro, North Carolina, the Triad area, And we just a small assembly, just trying to keep everybody encouraged. We do believe and teach in the Hamashiach. He is the only begotten Son. Just like the salt of the earth, we read from everything and we filter it. If the Spirit says wicked, then we reject it. But like you said earlier, if it comes from our ancestors and it's our history, the Most High is going to let us know what's true and what's not. So right now, we're just trying to, wake the nation up. In our part of the United States of America, now that the weather is breaking, we try to go out on the street corners on Fridays. There's a couple other assemblies down here in North Carolina that we fellowship with, and we got some young men. I'm the what you call the senior, I guess, of the group. I started a Torah group in 2016. Me and my wife started in the apartment, and the Most High just keep bringing righteous people through. So we were blessed to get our own building in 2019. But we're a small group, and we're not trying to be famous. We just want to do our part for the nation. And like I said, I see the work that the Salt of the Earth put in. And I was on here before with you, and I don't never want to fail to mention how I was blessed so much by that second Exodus documentary. I know you said earlier the first time that you wasn't with the brothers then, but that documentary really blessed my soul so much, because at that time my wife was just starting to do her own studies after, she wasn't sure if she was going to walk this walk with me. And then some sister at the job we met, she started saying all that fleet doctrine. And I was still new. I didn't know about all the different camps and assemblies. But I just told my wife, I said, well, babe, let me study this thing and give me a couple days. And I told my wife, I said, listen, all the scriptures and prophecies I'm finding is saying that he's going to gather us. He knows where we're at. And then I guess the YouTube algorithm led me to Salt of the Earth. And man, I watched that second Exodus back to back, like 2 days at work. And I was like, all praises. And I think Brother Banya, it was his segment that he brought out. I was so grateful, because this cop just ran a red light. This cop, if I hadn't stopped, this cop was about to hit me. So anyway, Brother Banya had brought out that precept that says there rose up a Pharaoh that knew not Joseph. That scripture had bugged me for years. And I'm like, this don't make sense. I'm like, there's no way a Pharaoh is going to raise up in Egypt and not know Joseph. I said, something's wrong here. But at the time, I'm still gathering resources, and Brother Banya had brought out, I think he used the Targums for his source. And he brought out that Pharaoh that raised up who knew not Joseph was actually one of the Assyrian kings that took Egypt. So, I mean, I'm forever indebted to Salt of the Earth, through the Most High, by the blood of his Son, for using you brothers being on the front line. But that's pretty much the Torah group in a nutshell. We have an online channel. We don't post all our classes, because a lot of our classes is for national business. But the things we do post, we think Christians as well as Israelites can benefit from. We post them on our channel. Like you shouted out earlier, we do teach the language, the hieroglyphs, because we believe the hieroglyphs, the pictographs, really unlock what their father was saying to our forefathers. So that's the dialect we choose to teach. And we're getting manifestations from brothers who just only been with us a year. They're coming in, learning it, and they're getting revelations of what the Torah and the prophets are really saying. So that's us in a nutshell, man. I just want to thank you for supporting us and just being on the front lines for the nation. All praises to the Most High.
Hey, thank you for chiming in, bro. And I got the link to your channel in the chat. If anybody who want to check it out, and you can go over there and like and subscribe. But
all praises.
I can relate, man, to that one precept you're talking about, because I don't let them brothers up for air on that. I always let them know, man, that was the game changer, you know, a major game changer. And it was one that also leads you into another source of information. And so when it comes to dealing with other sources within the scripture, if we really dealing in the spirit, like people say, then the Holy Spirit will lead you and guide you into all truth. And so in dealing with that, you read it and you say, man, this don't make sense. You know, how can anybody not know Joseph? Then you go further and it leads you into a source that tells you who that king was that rose up. And so just another example of what we mean by that. But I wanna thank you, bro, for chiming in, most definitely. And send me that email too when you get a chance.
We'll do.
Yes, sir. It's the brother over at the Torah group. Wanna thank him for chiming in. Hold on one second. Oh, my fault. My fault. But anyway, since I do have the brother here, we're gonna go ahead and close out, man. Do you have anything special you want to say to the family? And that'll be what we'll close out on.
Again, special thanks to the Salt of the Earth brothers and team for being righteous brothers, for support the Torah group. I just want to encourage the family to be Bereans like the Salt of the Earth is teaching us. And because I saw the replay that you guys had with the other brothers, and I really respected the exchange. It was respectful, but at the end of the day, it comes down to objectively looking at the research, and I tell people, we all got different parameters how we vet information. Maybe so. Right now, I'm a married man with grown kids. So if I went shopping, I would have different criteria for my purchasing decisions. And when it comes to this truth, you have to determine how you're going to validate information. And there's a lot of spirits going around. It's a spirit, I call it, there's a spirit of anti-Yahweh Shai, going out, that he's not the actual one we're looking for. So I just want to encourage the family. All this was prophesied to happen. Be Bereans. Do not become fans of anybody, whether it be Salt of the Earth, Torah group, whoever. You be Bereans and vet the information for yourself. And if that brother is righteous or that sister is righteous, they will be able to take the correction and admit they got things wrong. So I just thank you again for supporting the Torah group. And may the Most High be magnified on this earth by the blood, name, and fame of His only begotten Son. Shalom.
Amen. Shalom. All praises to our Heavenly Father, the sustainer of all things. All praises to His one and only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, our Redeemer, our King, our Adonai, and all praises to the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, and the Spirit of comfort. All right, I'll see you brothers and sisters later on, 7:30 p.m. Shalom and blessings.